It is the SMT Media Network. Welcome on back to the channel, folks. Please give this video a like and a share. Help this video get recommended to more people, and people can know a real NBA hoop channel when you see one. Appreciate that very much. Let's go ahead and talk about the Wizards and the Nuggets last night. This one was a pretty wild game, surprisingly competitive. Alex Sarr, career-high 34 points. Jordan Poole hit a game-winning three-pointer in the waning minutes of the game. The game was tied. I mean, this game was competitive. Lots of back and forth, lots of runs, not a lot of defense. Russ was nailing threes. But to talk about the game, Nuggets were getting offensive contributions from all over in the first quarter. The Nuggets were up double digits after one. In the second quarter, the Wizards started cooking, getting out in transition off of turnovers and rebounds and creating opportunities for points that way. They're making their shots. Alex Sarr giving Joker the business. He did it with movement. He did it with effort. He was out working him in the paint and on the glass. Joker's defense, as I watched, wasn't that good. It was actually kind of bad. He was getting cooked on multiple occasions, and his help defense just wasn't there like it typically is. And I have been kind of celebratory towards his defense in some of the games recently, so just trying to be open and objective to those kind of things. But yeah, it just wasn't very good tonight. In the third quarter, the Wiz were within a few possessions. I think they actually got within a couple of points, and then they hit a shot and the game was tied going into the fourth. So the Wiz were playing inspired on an away game where they probably could have just laid down, and we know their season hasn't been going well. Their record shows that they're a pretty bad team, but they fought valiantly to stay in the game, and they did a nice job of doing that. So shout out to the Wizards, worth celebrating. Nuggets were up still through all of this. They were up for most of the fourth quarter. The Wizards kept fighting. They kept it close. The game was tied at the 2-minute mark, I believe. And then the Nuggets got an easy layup on an inbound play to Russ. I think with 30 seconds left, the Wiz were able to answer with a corner three. At that point in the game, I think there was probably just about 10 seconds left or something. And then Jamal Murray answered with a clutch jumper going across kind of like the elbow area. And then there was like 5 seconds on the clock left, right? So there wasn't much of a game. And, you know, really down to a single play. Apparently this meant it was going to be Jordan Poole time. A 30-foot dagger. Absolutely impressive to have the guts to not only take the shot from that distance and for that range, but make it. And, you know, not that the defense was bad or anything, but I don't think they expected Jordan Poole to shoot it from so deep, given that there was 5 seconds on the clock. But he did have a clean look. You know, it wasn't like it was, you know, he was close and challenged and all those things, and the Nuggets didn't have a timeout. So that was the dagger three to the game. In terms of the team's performances, the Nuggets shot 50% from the field, the Wiz 48%. The three-point percentages, kind of different there. The Wizards actually shot the three a little better, 42%. The Nuggets 35%. The Wiz took 45 threes and made 19. Might have been the different in this particular game. Free throw percentages, very, very similar. I think they're identical. Both made 15 of 17 free throws. The rebounding was close. I think the Wizards edged out the Nuggets by 2 rebounds. Offensive glass, they were +3. And that was pretty much it. I don't really see anything that indicates that there was something glaring about these teams different tonight. I think it was a very close game, very competitive. The Nuggets had more points in the paint. The turnover margin was nil. It was basically the same on both sides. This game was absolutely close. And I want to give props to the Wizards for fighting to be in the game. And I think they deserve credit for taking the fight to the Nuggets, who have legitimate stars on their team. You know, Jamal Murray is a late game riser. And Joker is a walking triple-double. In fact, I want to speak to some of that now. From the Nuggets side, Michael Porter Jr. gave you 20 in 37 minutes of action. Joker gave you 40, throwing in an additional 13 rebounds, 9 assists, basically a triple-double. He had a steal, he had a couple of blocks, right? So he was trying to do his part. It's not that Joker had a bad game at all. That's a very impressive game. Just because you don't get a triple-double doesn't mean you played poorly. Russ gave you 22 in 37 minutes of action as a starter. He made 4 of his 8 3-pointers, 4 rebounds, 11 assists. He was dishing. Jamal Murray, 24 points, 9 of 16 shooting, 3 of 8 from 3. And then Christian Braun gave you 9 points to kind of round out the starters. The bench, nothing. right? And that's something that I think we could say about the Denver Nuggets. They're not a deep team. They do not have depth on their side. So if their starters don't do enough to beat the Wizards, that's something we have to call out. And I think the reason why the Nuggets lost tonight is very simple. I think their defense wasn't good enough. The final score was 126 to 123. You have to get timely stops in the fourth quarter, especially when you haven't been playing defense all game and you got the Washington Wizards who are 15-51. They're in the game with a chance to win. You got to do better. Now, I'm sure the message from Coach Michael Malone to the Wizards is, we got out hustled by the Washington Wizards. They just wanted it more. And the reason why I want to mention this is because the Denver Nuggets almost lost the game to the Lakers, who were completely shorthanded. LeBron is out with the groin injury. Luka didn't play. Luka didn't play the last game. So it was Dalton Connect for 32. It was Austin Reeves for 37. And Bronny was playing 17 minutes, damn it. Like, the conversation right now about the way the Denver Nuggets are playing needs to be structured as they're underachieving, in my opinion. So when I'm looking at the Nuggets and I'm looking at the near term, they've got a game against the Warriors Sunday night. They've got a game against the Lakers on Wednesday. And then they've got winnable games, over the course of the next week. Right? You got the Trailblazers, you got the Bulls later on in that week. But they've got a couple of tough games. They got the Bucks down the road. They got the Rockets. Look, I'm not saying it's panic time in 2 games for the Nuggets. But I mean, they really do have to shore up their defense. They lost tonight's game because of poor execution on the defensive side. You scored 123 points and couldn't beat the Washington Wizards. And again, I'm giving credit to the Wizards. They played tough. But the Nuggets are aren't they second in the West? Or third in the West, right? The Rockets are back. They've won 6 in a row. But come on. You're looking like the effort isn't there, in terms of execution on defense. So something to watch. Look for the Nuggets to tend to those issues, those weaknesses, and kind of fix them here in the next few weeks. There's only so many games left in the season. So what do you guys see when you see the Nuggets? What are you seeing at the end of the games like this where, these kind of plays are happening, losing to the Wizards? Well, I'm not going to say my concern level is more than a 3 at this moment in time, but you should have blown out the Lakers and you should have blown out the Wizards, honestly. You have the team to do that. You have the players to do that. Look, I don't know, maybe Aaron Gordon not playing, maybe that was something. I'm not sure. I didn't see him in the game at all. For the Wizards, Alex Sarr hits a career high, gets a career high 34 points. Jordan Poole 19 points. It's not like he was setting the world on fire. He just hit a late game shot. But who the hell is Justin Champagna or whatever this guy's name is? I'll be honest, I haven't watched a lot of Wizards hoops. But I mean, Chris Middleton, 10 points. He's not hurting you. And they didn't get much from their bench, right? I don't know. I think the Wizards need to play better. The Nuggets need to play better. They need to execute better on defense. This is a game they should have won. And, that game against the Lakers was closer comfort. I'm not really liking what I'm seeing from the Nuggets currently. And if Joker's going to win this MVP thing, you got to find a way to do a little bit more in order to win a game against the Wizards. Come on, man. And let's be critical of stars. That's okay. To whom much is given, much is expected. And he's in a fight for the MVP against SGA, who is getting better outcomes in some of these games. Just saying. What do you guys think? Let me know. Drop me a comment. Like, share, subscribe. See you guys on the next one.